Shalom, beloved. This is Trina Miller with Trina Miller Ministries coming to you with another prophecy bulletin. Yes, another prophecy bulletin that healing and deliverance is the children's bread. Now, this particular prophecy today is just an introduction to why I started this prophecy bulletin, this channel. I came under some very intense spiritual warfare. And I've been under this intense warfare for the last 3 years. And at the end of 2019 and at the beginning of 2020. And it is now beginning to let up, but I had come under some real intense, very serious spiritual warfare with some very evil, I would say some very evil entities working through people. And these were principalities and spiritual wickedness in working through people. And this spiritual wickedness were people in high places. People in high places, right? That was coming against me so strongly. And not just people in high places, but my family members recruited some of these people. And I don't know if you remember, but during the time in the beginning of 2020, we were all sheltering in place and sheltering at home. So no one was going into the office to work or anything like that. But a relative contacted me, the first lady, contacted me on the phone and began to tell me a story about her daughter and her daughter accusing her, the grandmother, and the father, which is the grandfather, which are the first lady and the pastor. So this is the first lady talking to me, saying that her daughter accused her and her husband of abusing one of her children. Now, the child was the one who told her mother, their daughter, that granddaddy and grandmama had been abusing me. And so when the first lady brought me this story, I could not come to any type of, at that point, I was not going to come to any type of conclusion until I knew what the evidence said. And so there the intense warfare began. Because I did not believe I was going to wait until the facts came out before I took any side or before I came to any type of conclusion about the matter. And the conclusion of that matter was that you can't lie on DNA from the R kit that police, that detectives, they do a whole DNA, okay? Because the child was taken to the doctor, and a R kit was performed on that child, and the pastor had to go into the police station too to give his DNA, and it came back conclusive that it was a match. So you cannot lie with DNA. DNA don't lie, okay? It was a positive match. That yes, something did happen to that child. And yes, you were the one who did it. And so the grandmother, the first lady, is trying to cover all of this up and recruited family members to go to be against her daughter so that she could take this girl's kids from her, trying to drive her crazy to take her kids away from her and deem her unfit so that she can get the children and in turn cover up the abuse. Allegedly, but this is not alleged, baby. I was there. I was in court. my husband and I had to hire this girl an attorney so that DHS, Department of Human Service, wouldn't keep her children. We were able to get her an attorney so that she could get her children back from DHS. There's a lot of things that happen, baby. You won't have to stay tuned to part one. This is just part one and the introduction. This is how I came under intense warfare. And I said, there's no way in the world that I would allow this stuff to happen and I don't talk about it and raise awareness and bring awareness to it. So that was the beginning of me being bullied, cyber hacked, cyber stalked. People driving by my house, watching my house, following me to the park and stuff like that when I was exercising and things like that. Stealing my identity. I was trying to log into my bank account and everything was shut down from my bank account because my Wi-Fi had been hacked. And because my family members had recruited people to cyber hack me and to silence me. But I will not be silenced. I will not be bullied. I will not be backed into a corner. And when you bring me a test, I'm coming out with a testimony. I said, when you bring me a test, I'm going to come out with a testimony. So if you don't want me to have a testimony, don't bring me a test. Stay tuned to part 2. Because I'm going to tell you how this wicked first lady, what she did to put her grandchildren in foster care. And in the height, at the beginning of this pandemic. And they're going into the homes of strangers. And she scattered them. Now, I don't know about you, but the Bible says we shall know them by their works. And that's an evil worker of iniquity. That's an a worker of evil and a worker of iniquity. These two people that I'm talking about, they know who they are. And I was passionate about it. Stay tuned to part 2 because I got more to tell. I'm going to tell it. Look to Jesus and not to Trina, because I'm not the author and the finisher of your faith. Jesus Christ is, beloved. Shalom. Stay tuned to part 2 because, baby, I'm just getting started with this. The Bible says you shall know them by their fruit. And that fruit that's an evil. That's an evil first lady and an evil pastor to do what they did to their own grandchildren and then try to hide it. Stay tuned. Part 2 is coming up. And I'm talking about facts and paperwork. I was in the courtroom. I was in all the meetings with DHS. I heard everything, baby. And I know. Okay? Stay tuned. Part 2 coming. Shalom.